Hi, this is Matthew Pope from the Pope's Perspective. Now, this video is going to be addressing the dramas that we've seen occur on X, formerly known as Twitter. Now, this is between Elon Musk, Nigel Farage and Tommy Robinson, as you all may know. I'm starting off with Nigel Farage. When Nigel Farage stepped down from UKIP leadership, UKIP had a vote to see who should take over. And there was a lovely woman called Anne-Marie Waters who was running. Now, even though Nigel Farage had stepped down, he still took his own personal time to write an article for the Telegraph, basically saying that all of Anne-Marie Waters' followers and Anne-Marie herself was an Islamophobe and a racist. Now moving on a little bit to just a few months ago, Nigel Farage was on TV saying that we should not alienate Islam from Britain. Now that is basically code for it doesn't matter if Sharia takes over from British law. It does not matter if British morals and etiquette are swamped out by Islam, because Islam can't coexist. Alright, Quran 8:39, fight the disbelievers until religion is only for Allah. Quran 9:29, fight the disbelievers, even the Christians and Jews, until they become submissive to Islam. The whole religion is about overtaking disbelievers, either killing them or converting them. So Islam can't coexist. You know, Iran, Afghanistan used to be secular countries before Islam infested it. So yeah, Islam can't coexist. So for anyone to say that we don't want to alienate Islam from Britain is basically saying that they don't mind that Britain becomes an Islamic country. Now, Nigel Farage's little puppy, Reform UK, is a political party. Their main contributor, their main donor is a Muslim who they've now made chairman, Yusuf. So Reform aren't going to address Islam. They're not going to address mass Muslim immigration, because they have a Muslim chairman. Now this might seem, oh yeah, you're prejudiced against Muslims. But by Quran standard, by Islam standard, no Muslim can enforce British law and values over that of Sharia. No Muslim can protect a non-believer over that of a Muslim's. Muslims always come first. They have to. It's Islam. This is their religion. So can we trust somebody with a Muslim leader? No, we can't. So Reform are basically going to be an Islamic party. All right, now Tommy Robinson. A lot of you might be too young to remember. A lot of you might not have been involved in all this. So I want to talk about how Tommy Robinson came about, how the EDL came about. Now, troops came back from Iraq and Afghanistan, and they had a parade in Luton. As they marched through Luton, the streets were lined with Muslims that were hurling abuse, shouting abuse at them, spitting at them. Now, Tommy Robinson and his band of merry men saw this and they thought, this is a disgrace. Now, at the time, Tommy Robinson was a Luton football hooligan. This isn't nothing new. The name that he got, Tommy Robinson, was actually taken from a fictional character in a football hooligan book. Tommy Robinson's a football hooligan. He don't mind admitting this. So there's nothing new. I'm not saying nothing new here. So the EDL was formed by the Luton football hooligan and other various firms across the UK all got together, and that's how the EDL started. So there was a lot of tension, aggression and all that starting with the EDL when it first came out. Now, as I said, I've been talking about Islam online for longer than the EDL have been about, and Tommy Robinson and that. So I have seen the development of Tommy Robinson over the years. I must admit, I was a critic. He attacked an off-duty police officer. He's been done for drugs, for riots, stuff like this. So he was criminal. Was a criminal. Now, He's just a political prisoner. There's no doubt in my mind about that. Now, I've been a critic of Tommy Robinson for decades. So now, for me to say that he's a political criminal, a political prisoner, sorry, is quite a big thing. So, Tommy Robinson is now locked up. He is now locked up on charges for contempt of court. Now, contempt of court carries a maximum of 2 years sentence. Tommy Robinson got 18 months. So that's in the high bracket of what you can get for contempt of court. Now, he's got done 3 times for that. And this is what people are saying. This is what Nigel Farage is saying. But what other people are also saying online is that Tommy Robinson is in trouble for lying about this Syrian boy. Now, to lie about somebody, the laws come under libel or slander. It depends on how the information is produced. If you write lies about somebody, then that's libel. If you speak lies about somebody, then that's slander. That's basically the difference. He hasn't been done for either of those. He got done for contempt of court. Now, contempt of court is about your behaviour presenting in court. So say if you get issued like a punishment or something and you shout at the judge, oh, you're a wanker, what are you thinking of, and all this sort of stuff, then that's contempt of court. That's an example of contempt of court. So it's nothing to do with this Syrian boy and Tommy Robinson getting false information about him. It's got nothing to do with that. So contempt of court is one of those things that is just so broad and so that, you know, it was one of Stalin's generals, Joseph Stalin, this is one of his deputies, that said, show me the man and I'll show you the crime. And I truly feel that this is the position that they've taken on Tommy Robinson. They'll just throw anything at him. So yeah, I saw this man go from being an outright criminal, a football hooligan, a drug dealer, to actually being quite an outstanding person. You know, I saw him going from shouting, send the black cunts home, to fucking being on Piers Morgan, trying to get people to read the Quran and actually wake up about it. So I have seen Tommy Robinson develop. I'm not going to slander Tommy Robinson on his past anymore, because that's the past. He has now developed into somebody completely new. So yeah, Tommy Robinson is at the moment, no doubt in my mind, no doubt in a lot of people's minds, Tommy Robinson is a political prisoner. Now, Tommy Robinson, there's a lot of his supporters that are going around saying Tommy Robinson's locked up for exposing grooming gangs. Now, I just want to address this a little bit. Tommy Robinson hasn't exposed nothing. Tommy Robinson was the same as us. We read it in the newspaper. I mean, the Rotherham scandal was all uncovered by a Times news reporter. So we all heard the news at the time. We knew about this stuff going on. But Tommy Robinson had the platform with his EDL to be able to talk about these things en masse. And that's what Tommy Robinson did. He used his platform to talk about these grooming gangs. So no, he didn't expose the grooming gangs, but he created awareness over them. And this is how we need to speak. Tommy Robinson created awareness of these grooming gangs. He never exposed anything though. He wasn't a journalist at the time. He's only recently become a journalist. So, no, Tommy Robinson has been put in court, in prison. He's been given 18 months. He spent most of that in solitary confinement, all for contempt of court. You know that this is a setup. So now let's move on to Elon Musk. Now, there is no doubt in my mind that when Elon took over Twitter, he still didn't have a handle on everything. I've had quite a few accounts banned on Twitter. I've had a few accounts banned on X as well, under Elon Musk. I've also had, you can appeal to have your account returned. I've had every appeal rejected, even under Elon Musk. Now, one of the main reasons why I was targeted online was because I used to expose the ISC, the Islamic Sharia Council. And so there's no doubt in my mind that Elon Musk didn't have complete control over X when he first took it over. Because I have been banned for saying the exact same things that now Elon Musk is saying. So, but that's neither here or there. Elon Musk has wanted to open X up for a free speech movement. He gave Donald Trump his account back. He gave Tommy Robinson his account back. So he knows about these grooming gangs. It's all come out now because of Keir Starmer's involvement in protecting these people as a human rights lawyer. So Elon Musk has now said to Nigel Farage, you aren't really fit to run a political party. Okay, you've just slandered Tommy Robinson. There was no point in him slandering Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson has never once said, I want to join Reform. So why is Nigel Farage standing there saying, we don't want Tommy Robinson in Reform? I don't know what Nigel Farage is playing at. He's probably trying to turn into a Labour Tory sort of thing where they would always stand on the outside and never actually say what needs to be said. So he's probably gone down that route. Elon Musk he was going to donate a lot of money to Reform to get their party moving. Now, I don't think Reform's the right way to go. Personally, I think the biggest threat has been and is Islam to this country. I know Reform aren't going to address that. Now, one of my accounts that was previously removed was called Ban Islam. And I was posting Quranic verses, hadith, tasfa, which is the scholars' commentaries and stuff like that. I was posting on that account. And there was one political party who followed my account, and that was UKIP. So I know that UKIP are willing to follow an account online called Ban Islam, and I know for a fact that the leftists, when a political party is getting in the highlight, they would go to that party's social media and they will scan through that to try to find anything corruptive. And obviously following an account called Ban Islam could be problematic for a political party. But UKIP don't care because their stance is that we should not have Sharia in the UK. Their stance is that we shouldn't have mass Muslim immigration. Their stance is we shouldn't be shutting down churches all across the UK to allow mosques. We should not be shutting down Christmas markets because terrorists have told us to. So they've got a strong stance against Islam and the progression of Islam within the UK. So I'm a full UKIP supporter. I have been before Reform turned out. So, I mean, promoting UKIP is nothing new to me. But I feel that Reform's gone totally the wrong way. If you want to vote Labour Tory, you're going to end up Reform at the end of the day. Because what's going to happen in the next election is Tories aren't going to get the majority seats, so they're going to have to team up with Reform to get the majority seats. That's basically what's going to happen in the next election. So if you really want to make a change, then we have to start voting for a party that would oppose Islam. Now, you've got Britain First. They're against Islam, but they haven't got the candidates standing within every single area. So a lot of people can't vote for them. So what we need to do is we need to unite the right. But we're not going to be able to do that when there's this divide of Islam, how to deal with Islam. Okay? Now, I think that we should promote British law. I think we should promote British values over Islam. And Tommy Robinson, Elon Musk, they both feel the same. Nigel Farage doesn't. So if Elon Musk is going to aid any political party within the UK financially and also with the platform, I feel that he should be backing UKIP. So just some stuff to think about. I mean, Tommy Robinson needs to be dealt with in the way he is now rather than the way he was back in the early 2000s. I think it was 2009, around that sort of time when the EDL was formed. Tommy Robinson was a completely different person. So I feel that he should be treated today now like totally differently to how he was. And you could say he's got a criminal record as long as his arm. So that's why they locked him up. It don't work like that. I mean, I'm no saint. I haven't committed a crime for decades, but my criminal record's as long as my arm. So I don't want somebody to knock on my door and judge me by my past actions. I think that is a very wrong approach. People change. Tommy Robinson's changed. So yes, Farage is going to be getting on at Elon Musk saying, oh, Tommy Robinson's this, Tommy Robinson's that, looking like a Muppet. You know how he looks like one of those Muppets from the Muppet Show? Yeah, I know, that's very low. I know, talking about the way somebody appears and stuff like that is extremely low. But yeah, he does look like a Muppet, you can't deny that. But yeah, so get Tommy Robinson out of prison. He's a political prisoner, he should never be in there. Tell Nigel Farage to rein it in a bit, because he seems to have, politics have gotten to his head. I mean, I saw him on a news report that he was talking about Elon Musk, and he was basically acting as if Elon Musk's support was 100% guaranteed for him, whatever he does. I mean, how self-involved, how narcissistic can you be to think that somebody's support is unconditional? He's a moron. Nigel Farage has always been a moron. I know you've all loved him because of Brexit. He done fucking amazing with Brexit. It's a shame that our governments haven't managed to implement Brexit, but Nigel Farage still got us Brexit. He put pressure on the government. Nigel Farage is great at that. He's great at that. But when it comes to Islam, the takeover of Britain, the colonisation by Muslims of Britain today, Nigel Farage isn't going to address that. Now, Tommy Robinson's not into politics. He's an activist. He's now a journalist as well, but he started off as an activist. He's never been involved in politics. So, for a politician to just come out and attack him and all his support base is self-destructive. So I'd like to thank you all for watching this video, and I hope you've probably learned something. You probably heard my views on stuff, but I'm going to finish this with one thing. If there is an inquiry on grooming gangs, there are two things that we need to consider. The Quran and Hadith both promote the rape of non-Muslims. And the Quran and Hadith both promote paedophilia. So, yes, this is a Muslim problem, because Islam allows it, Islam teaches it, Islam encourages it. I just feel sorry for all the victims. You know, these were rape victims, not murder victims, rape victims. So they're still alive. They're still seeing all this broadcasted on the news. How would you feel? How would you feel if your whole life was taken away from you by Muslim grooming gangs, and then you see them getting fucking pardoned? You see them getting the platform, while you see people who object to it getting locked up and given 18 months in prison, most of which is in solitary confinement. How would these victims feel? There is no justice. There is no justice until all these Muslim grooming gangs are taken out of this country, put on a boat, bucked off back to the Middle East. It's the only way that we can deal with it. But I am going to release a video in the future addressing Muslim grooming gangs a little bit more in depth with Quranic verses, hadith, fatwas, interpretations with the tasfa, everything to do with rape and paedophilia within Islam. I'm going to put it all together and make a video for you guys about that. I look forward to that, and I'll look forward to you joining me. But thank you ever so much for listening. This has been the longest video I've done, so I may have waffled on a bit. I don't do any of these things scripted. So thank you ever so much for listening. God bless you all.